Geography NCERT Class 9 Contemporary India Part 1 Chapter 5. Now the title for this chapter is Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. And it is evident from the title itself that we will be discussing about natural vegetation and wildlife. So some important points before we begin are that let us look at the plant and animal diversity of India. When we talk about the plant diversity, India has roughly 47,000 plant species. And because of that, it is 10th in the world in terms of plant diversity and 4th in Asia. And when we talk about the animal diversity, India has roughly 90,000 animal species, 90,000 species of animals and 2,000 species of birds. Now that we know that India has such amazing plant diversity, such amazing vegetation, have you ever thought that what are the factors that have led to the diversity of plant that India has? Let us have a closer look. Now, before we look at the factors responsible, let us quickly understand the definition of natural vegetation. Now, natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. Now, cultivated crops, fruits and orchards, etc. are part of vegetation and are not natural vegetation. So, anything that we grow artificially, by artificially I mean that wherever there is human intervention involved is part of vegetation but not natural vegetation. Natural vegetation, for example, forests which are left alone and they grow on their own are part of natural vegetation. Now, let us look at the factors responsible for plant diversity. The first one is land relief. The relief of the land is really important because we look at altitude, there are mountains, there are terrains, there are alluvial plains and plateau, all of them have different kind of vegetation. The second one is soil. This is really important because the kind of soil that is present in a particular area defines the kind of vegetation that will be there. Now, for example, black soil is really famous for cotton. You don't see cotton being grown generally in alluvial plains or red soil. So this is how soil defines the kind of vegetation that will be there. The third one is temperature. Now temperature is really important because the kind of sunlight, the amount of sunlight that a particular area gets and the temperature and humidity of an area defines the kind of vegetation that will be there. For example, you have cactus in desert area. You don't have cactus in a very rainy and a rain-fed area. The fourth one is photoperiod. Now photoperiod, by photoperiod I mean the duration in a day for which plant gets sunlight. Now if a plant gets sunlight for a major period of the day, it will perform better photosynthesis. So this is really important for the kind of vegetation that will be there on particular land. The fifth one is precipitation. Now precipitation is really important because the amount of rainfall that a particular area gets defines the amount of density of the vegetation. Now let us look at the types of vegetation. The first one is tropical evergreen. Now let us look at this kind of vegetation in the map. This region, which is the westward part of Western Ghats, falls under the impact of southwest monsoon, whereas Lakshadweep Islands and the Andaman Nicobar Islands and the northeast part, which falls under the impact of the Bay of Bengal branch of the Indian monsoon. We've already discussed this in the Indian monsoon video. And the southeastern and northeastern part of Odisha and the southeastern part of Bengal. These regions are under the impact of monsoon, heavy monsoon, and they fall under tropical evergreen forest. Now the vegetation of tropical evergreen forests they are trees such as ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber, etc. Next is tropical deciduous forest. Now they are further divided into dry and moist tropical deciduous forests. The rainfall range for tropical deciduous is 70 to 200 centimeters, whereas it is 70 to 100 for dry and 100 to 200 for moist deciduous forests. The moist deciduous forests kind of vegetation that we get here are teak, bamboo, sal, shisham, sandalwood, kher, kusum, arjun, etc. And for dry deciduous forest, the vegetation would be teak, sal, peepal, neem, etc. Now as you can see in the map, most of the area in India is under deciduous forest type. Now the next one is thorn forest. Thorn forests get a rainfall of less than 70 centimeters and the vegetation is acacia, palm, cactus, etc. Now if you look at this in the map, this region is of thorn forest. Now you can easily understand this area lies under the Thar desert and this is the Kutch Peninsula. They are very dry and they fall under thorn forest type of vegetation. This area is also of thorn forest type because of the Western Ghats. The Western Ghats don't allow the advancing monsoon to pour rain in this areas. This is the reason why this entire belt falls under thorn forest, is very dry and very arid. Right, so the fourth one is montane forests. Now these type of forests are found in high altitude. This region, the Himalayas, these kind of forests are known as montane forests. And the kind of vegetation that we get in this area is pine, deodar, silver fir, juniper, rhododendron, pines, alpine forests. The fifth one and the last one is mangroves. Now mangroves are found in these areas, in the coastal lands, and the kind of vegetation that we get here is timber, coconut, etc. Now we come to the other part of this chapter, which is wildlife. Now India has approximately, we've already discussed this, 90,000 animal species. It has 2,000 species of birds. They constitute about 13% of the world's total. India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. Now India has 18 biosphere reserves, 50 tiger reserves, 103 national parks and 543 wildlife sanctuaries, out of which 50 are tiger reserves. This is the list for the biosphere reserves of India. So this is it for this video. The PDF notes for this video are available on the Civil Coursify Android app for free. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, download the Civil Coursify Android app and follow us on Facebook and Telegram. Links are available in the description as well as comment section. Till then, thank you and take care.